if I could also just add, you're talking about a screen here, so obviously people want to see the quality of the video on the screen. You do show the screen in a few places. Now, I totally understand from a film perspective that trying to capture something that's bright in the darkness while still getting the background without it being blown out is really hard. At the same time, a lot of the footage that you do have of your screen, where you're talking about how great the definition is, the screen actually only takes up a tiny portion of the space in the video, and it doesn't appear to be completely in focus, and it's actually quite hard to see. Like, okay, maybe the screen really does look fantastic.
We can't see it,
but it's hard to tell that in the actual video. I would suggest probably trying to actually get in a little closer to the screen with your camera, even if it means, like, obviously you can't go in front of the projector, but if you can get near where the projector is and use the camera to kind of zoom in.
Actually at one point he mentions that you can do rear projection with this screen. If so, then it can get in close.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point, Terry. But yeah, if you can really just get some footage. I mean, there was good footage that I saw, actually. I quite liked, there was the one with the fireworks going off in the background. To me, that worked quite nicely. But yeah, I found a lot of the footage either was focused on the background, because you could see that really nicely, but you couldn't make the screen out, or you were seeing the screen, but it was very small.
Also, I will mention one other thing. For those of us who don't have backyard pools or close lakes and things, it's an important point that this isn't exclusively a water thing. A lot of the pictures are showing it floating. There's like one, I think, at a party where it's indoors and it's on the floor there, and I'd say include that, and maybe less of the other ones when you're trimming the video down, just because that's going to increase the number of people who can, who would see the value of it.
Sure, and I mean, to be fair, he does talk about having it raised up, and in the air, but maybe it might even be better off to start with the kind of like, here's a cool screen, you can use anywhere outdoor, it's kind of waterproof.
And it even floats. Then, right.
Yeah, and look, you can even do this cool thing, we'll even throw it in a pool. That's how kind of flexible it is. Like, you don't need to worry about it raining, you can even throw it in the pool. So, yeah, I think that pretty much covers over most of the things that I saw. Like, if I was going to wrap up what I feel the kind of main points are, I would say that it's really that he's emphasizing a little bit too much on growing his business and not quite enough on what is the unique benefit that has never before been seen by the world to potential backers.
Focus more on the project, less on the business. Yeah, I'd say that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, would that be your? Would you agree with that as an overall summary?
Yeah,
Terry,
I would agree with that, and I would say pay attention to some of the polish issues that we're talking about with the copy and the video editing to improve the look of it.
Yeah, because, sorry, I will just butt in and say I've got a quote here that Kickstarter themselves have in their policies. Kickstarter is a place for products with strong aesthetics. And I presume that the project itself is going to, they would like that to reflect it.
Yeah, I think we hit all the major points.
Beautiful. Okay, well, thank you very much then, Terry, for coming in and taking a look at this and helping Richard and us to go through with it. Is So can I just ask you, Terry, before I let you go, do you have any plans for other Kickstarter projects or anything else coming up in the future with your website?
Yeah, we went through. Of course, we went through a pre-production Kickstart earlier, and then we went through the Kickstarters that failed were the ones that were to fund starting up the pilot and doing things. However, we're continuing with the voice recording. We've got people who basically have agreed to work for free, or at least on spec, or whatever, until things get better. So what we're going to be doing is running another campaign sometime later this fall to fund probably 3D modeling, and then a separate one to fund animation. I'm looking at a couple of different ways of doing that. I'm thinking about possibly going with a lower impact strategy where we're doing a longer term pre-sale, more like the Blender movies did. Or we may go ahead and do another fast Kickstarter type project when we've got a little more to show, a little more where we can put it out there in front of you exactly what we're doing and show that yes, we can do this and so on. I'm pretty sure that the reason why the Kickstarters we had didn't get off the ground is because we were in some ways not quite ready with the materials we had to show. And there were materials I had hoped to deliver on time, and we weren't quite ready, but we had already said we were going to launch the Kickstart, so we did. And that could be pretty stressful. So we're right now we are working on production. We're working on sound production specifically, and we're ramping up to doing another fundraiser to go to the next stage. So that's where we're at. And of course, we're at lunatics.tv, lunatics.tv. So that's where you can find about it.
We'll throw a link to that.
Okay, that'd be great. So for those who are interested, that's where we're going. And I hope this has been helpful.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure it will have been, and hopefully this will help both Richard and other people who are out there getting their campaign together and trying to watch out for those kind of gotchas that are so easy to trip up on. So, Terry, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
And
thank you for having me.
Hopefully, you're very welcome, and hopefully we can talk to you a bit later about some of your other projects.